Do you, Do you remember The Silence of the Lambs? Hannibal Lecter? There's a scene, I forget if it was near the end or somewhere in the middle, where he cuts open the top of someone's head and eats part of their brain while they're still alive. Yeah, I know, it's a pretty grotesque image to start with. I'm sorry, but that particular scene, the way the brain looked, that moment, it left a mark on me. It kind of stayed there somewhere in the back of my mind. Anyway, tonight's video is something a little different. It's what people call a shoe play video. You know, where I play with my shoes a bit, slipping them on and off, tapping my toes, that sort of thing. It was a request, actually, from a listener. And oddly enough, it's become one of the more popular things I do. So, here we are. While we're spending this quiet time together, I'd like to continue a story I started in a previous video about my father. You see, my father had an aneurysm. It ruptured because of something called a heat shock. You might know it. It's when you move suddenly from a warm place into a very cold one and your blood pressure spikes. In his case, the blood rushed into his brain so violently that half of it died. He lost function on one side of his body. He's now considered level 5 in Japan's care system, which means he needs constant support, the most severe classification. I remember when we first got the call, it was in the evening. I was just having dinner at home, completely unaware. Then the phone rang and it was my mother. Her voice was shaking. She said, "Your father, he might not make it." And hearing that, I just dropped everything. I grabbed a bag and ran. I barely made the last bullet train. I got to the hospital just in time. We all gathered, my family. We sat together for about an hour, talking through the possibility that he might not survive the night, but somehow he did. Thanks to the doctors and nurses, they saved him. For a while, I went back to my normal life. I cleaned up around the house, returned to work, tried to fall back into a rhythm. And then, another call. This time, it was from the hospital itself. "Your father is in critical condition again," they said. "His brain is swelling." I didn't even know that was possible. I mean, your brain swelling? I thought that only happened with bruises or cuts. But apparently, when the brain tries to heal itself, it can swell, just like skin does. The problem is, it's trapped inside the skull, and there's nowhere for it to expand. The doctor told me, if we don't relieve the pressure, the brain will be crushed from within. They needed my permission for emergency surgery. And the procedure, it was to remove part of his skull, literally take it off, so the brain had room to swell without being compressed. No time to hesitate, I said yes. I called my mother. I jumped on the train again. I was just running on instinct by then. The surgery worked. He was alive. But when I walked into that hospital room and saw him lying there, asleep, with part of his skull gone, with his brain partially exposed, I froze. It looked just like that scene from The Silence of the Lambs, only no one was eating anything. It was real. It was my father. That image, I don't think I'll ever be able to unsee it. He eventually had the bone put back once the swelling went down. But for a time, I knew what it looked like to see the human brain, unprotected. I didn't mean to get so heavy tonight, but these thoughts, these memories, they stay with you. Thank you for listening, for sitting here quietly with me. I'll talk more about my father again someday, if that's okay. For now, take care of yourself and of the people you love. Good night.